Hey everybody, so welcome to part 2 of the very basics of the guitar. In part 1, I tried to squeeze everything in, but the guitar is just so information rich and heavy and full of wonder for me that I couldn't fit it all into one little video. So I broke it up, and this is the second part. The first part was about all the parts of the guitar, the body, the neck, the headstock, and then, you know, little details like the nut and the bridge saddle. This part is about navigating the guitar. One of the things that people are not always privy to when they start playing the guitar is actually how to count the strings. So I might say, oh, play the first string, and they'll think, oh, the first string in relation to me, I'll play this E here, or what is called the sixth string. And so, since it's closest to a person when they're playing the guitar, most people think it's the first string, but that is not so. When you're playing the guitar, the way that you count the strings is from the highest to the lowest. So highest down here, or up here, and then down to the low E here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's how you count the strings. The strings are counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the I'll call it the bottom up, or from this low end, maybe from south to north. We could use that. That would work. So on the guitar, you're counting south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to north. So down, up. All right. That's how you count the strings. The strings also have names. The first string is called E, right here. The second string is called B. The third string is called G. The fourth string is called D. The fifth string, I'll start playing them down here, is called A. And then the sixth string, this one here, is called E. So you have an octave here, or a unison rather, of E and this high E. It is an octave, but it's kind of multiple octaves that separate these, so that's kind of why I called it a unison. So anyhow, that's how you count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E, B, G, D, A, E. Those are the strings. All right, so now we know the strings. We also, I'll do a little review here, have to know how to count the frets. So we count the strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what about the frets? Well, the frets are similar to the strings in how we count them. We count them from here in this direction. So from the headstock towards the body. And usually you'll use directional terms of up and down. So whenever you're talking about music and you say up, it may not mean to go in a directionally upward direction. What it means is a tonically or sonically upward direction. So we will go to a higher note, a higher sounding note, something with a higher frequency of pitch. So how that works is if we're down here and I play an F and I ask one of my students, go up. Let's say I say, go up 12 steps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and go up one more step. So then we'd have an octave. And so you can hear that, it sounds low to high, low. And it's the same with all the other strings. So let's take the high E, for instance, and we'll do the same note. So we have here. Right, so we went up to a higher version of the same note, and then down to the lower version. And that's how the direction works, is if I say, oh, go up a step, then you just went to a higher note. And this is actually a half step. In the previous video, I was also talking about the directions. And usually if you're giving someone an adjustment on a chord, you'll say, oh, just move it up a step. That's just kind of like colloquial direction giving, but technically, if someone says a step, it probably means a whole step. And if you're giving a direction, you should clarify if it's going to be a half step or a whole step, which is comprised of 2 half steps. Okay, there are exceptions. Well, no, there aren't. There aren't. I was just thinking about the difference between B and C, but that's something different than steps. Okay, so this is the direction, and the way that you count these frets when you're going in an upward direction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Yes, and then the way you're counting the strings is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And so the chords are going to be played on these strings, which are over these frets. So now you need to know how to count your fingers, right? So a lot of what you see when you're maybe reading a tab, or when somebody's giving you a direction, like myself, for how you should play a certain chord, is my method of doing it is I'll say, take a certain finger, put it on a certain fret, and then a certain string. So I zero in on a location on the fretboard from a very wide space, and I go down to a specific space. So I'll say, you're going to play your first finger, and you're going to put it on the 2nd fret. So we go through the frets. Oh, 2nd fret, okay. And now what part of the 2nd fret? Well, then I'll say 3rd string. And then I'm playing an A there. And we have first finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, right? And then that'll be your note. So that's how you zero in on a specific location on the fretboard in order to know where to play it. And other people will switch up the order, and any order is fine, but I think that the specific order of finger, fret, string is the best way to go from a wide space to a very specific space in your direction giving. So the fingers, right? I said first finger. So your pointer finger when you're playing the guitar is your first finger. You do have 5 fingers, but on the guitar we don't really count the thumb. You do use the thumb later on, but when you're beginning, just think about your 4 fingers here. So you'll do first finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, right? And then 4th finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then we can do it backwards. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you count your fingers. And we don't count the thumb. So if I say take your first finger, put it on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, what you'll do is you'll first finger, 2nd fret, 1, 2, 3rd string, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll put it there, right? And then maybe I say take your 2nd finger. So you count from the 1st finger, so 1, 2, put it on the 2nd fret, 1st string. Oh, right there. Then you have the beginnings of a D major chord. 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, 2nd string, 1, 2, and then we have D major, right? So that is how you navigate the guitar. The directions for going up and down have to do with pitch, what's going on in your ear, right? Up, down. So down, up, That's how it's going to work. And then when you're counting the strings, you've got to remember this one. You have to count from this string up here or down here, though it is highest in pitch, to the low E. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you count. Those are that's the order in which you're going to go about playing a chord. And that's how you can read a tab too, is you'll see a certain circle. And I'll make a video about this, but you'll see a certain circle on a certain fret, and then you'll see a number. Well, that has to do with what finger goes there. So I'll probably make a video showing people details about tablature and chord diagrams another time. But this was part 2 in how to navigate the guitar for the very basics of guitar, the things that you have to know in order to even play. And so there you go. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you soon.